Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. This video is sponsored by ptcgostore.com, the best place for you to get Pokemon TCG code cards. Please don't forget to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Thank you so much guys for always supporting the content I create in this channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at the new Machamp VMAX. This is one of the cards I'm most excited about for the new Astral Radiance set. For the longest time, I've been wondering when they would be releasing a card of this one, and now here it is. I don't know, for some reason I'm really into the design of this Pokemon. It reminds me so much of the Japanese TV series Ultraman, which I actually watched when I was still a young lad. And I really like the yellow and orange combination to its color scheme, and the lava looking design on its arm make it look so strong. I think this one looks really cool. So let's take a look at its card design. Machamp VMAX has 330 HP. It is a fighting type Pokemon, which is a great typing right now, especially a lot of top tier cards in the current format are weak against fighting, such as Arceus V-Star and Gengar VMAX. It has a somewhat high retreat cost of 3. Thinking in terms of how much attack damage Leafeon VMAX can deal may help us put it into perspective. If you don't know, Leafeon VMAX for 2 energies, it can deal 60 damage times the number of retreat costs on your opponent's active Pokemon. So with 3 retreat costs, Machamp VMAX would be receiving 180 damage from Leafeon VMAX. But in combination with the Galar Mine Stadium, that's an easy 300 damage, and to add to it, a Choice Belt which has another 30 damage towards V Pokemon. Leafeon VMAX can easily one-hit KO Machamp VMAX with a total of 330 damage. And this is very relevant because we'll be seeing a lot more grass-type builds, especially with the new supporter card Gardenia's Vitality, which is also coming out with Astral Radiance, but that's for another topic. And even an air balloon is not going to help it retreat for free, it will only reduce its retreat cost by 2. So again, Machamp VMAX's 3 retreat cost is less than desirable. It has no resistance and it has weakness to Psychic. This weakness is actually really bad because one of the best builds in the competitive scene right now is Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX, being a Psychic type, can easily get a one-hit knockout against Machamp VMAX, and not to mention Mew VMAX has minus 30 resistance to fighting type attacks. But then again, you can always just add a dark type Pokemon in your build to counter Mew VMAX, or just include a Pokemon in your build that is not weak to Psychic type, especially some fighting type Pokemon are weak against grass instead. The bad thing about Machamp VMAX getting knocked out though is that you will be giving up 3 prizes. But let's take a look at its attack. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Revenge Buster. For 1 fighting and 1 colorless energy, it does 80 plus base damage. But then if your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 140 more damage. That's a total of 220 damage for 2 energies, which is pretty close to dealing a one-hit KO to most basic Pokemon V. You can even add the Choice Belt to add an extra 30 damage to its attack when going against a V Pokemon, allowing it to deal 250 damage against a V Pokemon, which is pretty powerful. And it is worth noting that Radiant Hawlucha is also due to be released with this set. It has the ability Big Match. If this Pokemon is on your bench, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active VMAX Pokemon. While it is only towards VMAX Pokemon, that extra 30 damage can make a big difference, so you're looking at 280 damage towards a VMAX with Revenge Buster attack, which is pretty powerful for a 2 energy attack. And not only that, fighting Pokemon got another supporter card, that is Grant, also due to be released with Astral Radiance. During this turn, your fighting Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is pretty similar to Leon, but specific only to fighting type Pokemon. However, why would you use this over Leon? Well, the answer is in its additional text. During your turn, if this card is in your discard pile, you may discard 2 cards from your hand, excluding any Grant. If you do, put this card from your discard pile into your hand. And this effect does not count as using a support for your turn. In other words, it's just like an ability for the support card. You do have to discard 2 other cards, but you can recover this card from your discard pile back to your hand, and you can basically keep reusing the support card every turn to increase your fighting Pokemon's attack, which is pretty crazy. So with this in mind, that's an extra 30 damage increase to Machamp VMAX attack. Really, Machamp VMAX Revenge Buster attack can now range anywhere from 220 to 310 damage for just 2 energies, which is pretty nuts. So now the question is, what are some ways we can deal damage counters on our bench Pokemon? It is worth noting that it doesn't require you to have damage to all of your bench Pokemon to increase Machamp VMAX attack, but as long as you have one Pokemon in your bench that has damage counters on them, that will increase its Revenge Buster attack. One way is that there is a new stadium coming out as well. Whenever any player puts a basic Pokemon from their hand onto their bench, they put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. This could be useful, but I don't think it's the most effective way because you don't necessarily need a damage counter on all of your Pokemon you put into play. You'll only be helping your opponent out when your own Pokemon gets damaged. So this one you can use, but I don't think this will be good with Machamp VMAX. There is also the Old Cemetery Stadium. Whenever you attach an energy from your hand to one of your non-psychic type Pokemon, you deal 2 damage counter on that Pokemon. Again, much like the Gapejaw Bog Stadium, it can be useful, but dealing damage to your Pokemon unnecessarily may become a big setback to your entire strategy. Another option is Donphan from Vivid Voltage. This Pokemon has the attack Earthquake for just 1 fighting energy. You not only deal 120 damage for 1 energy, but it also does 20 damage to your entire bench Pokemon, which satisfies the requirement to increase Machamp VMAX's attack. But again, damaging your entire bench may become troublesome in the end. However, my favorite option to pair with Machamp VMAX is Lucario from Brilliant Stars. The reason why I think this will be the most effective way is because it has the Roaring Resolve ability. Once per turn, you may put 2 damage counter on this Pokemon, and if you do, you can search your deck for 1 basic fighting energy and attach it to this Pokemon. That damage counter you deal on Lucario will help to increase Machamp VMAX Revenge Buster attack. But not only that, you can also continue to build up its attack Aura Sphere Volley, which deals 60 damage times the number of fighting energy card you discard from it when you attack, helping it to potentially have the power to one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game. So not only will you be powering up Machamp VMAX's attack, you also have this one prizer Pokemon being built up to have that one-hit KO capability being set up on your bench. And you can really strategize with Lucario because you can choose when to deal that damage onto it. So this is my favorite Pokemon to pair with Machamp VMAX. Moving on now to its second attack, G-Max Cheese Strike. For 2 fighting and 1 colorless energy, it does 240 damage. However, this Pokemon cannot use this attack on your next turn. Of course, you can easily just switch it out of the active and back again to be able to reuse its attack, but then again, it doesn't help that it has 3 retreat cost, making it very difficult to retreat. But if you have a switch, maybe add a Galarian Zapdos in your build which has 0 retreat cost, you may be able to reuse its attack, and with the help of the Choice Belt, you may be able to increase its attack to 270 damage when going against another V Pokemon. Again, with Holucha against a VMAX Pokemon, you're looking at 300 damage with this attack. And again, with the help of Grant, you may be able to increase this attack even further to 330 damage, which is a one-hit KO for most VMAXs in the game. 3 energies can become a bit expensive to pay off, but there are a few ways to quickly energize this attack. This is a very important aspect to consider because competitively, if you're not able to attack on your first or second turn, most likely your Pokemon will get knocked out right away and you're going to be behind on prize exchange and you'll end up losing the game. The current format is just a very fast-paced game right now. So one way to energize Machamp VMAX attack is by means of the new item card, Gutsy Pickaxe. What it does is that you reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a fighting energy, attach it to one of your bench Pokemon, and if it's not a fighting energy, you put the top card into your hand. Not only can this be an extra draw option, it helps to accelerate energy to your fighting Pokemon. You can probably use the Switching Cups or Oranguru's ability Primate Wisdom to switch one of your fighting energy from your hand to the top card of your deck, so that when you use the Gutsy Pickaxe, you can accelerate the energy to Machamp VMAX. This can definitely be helpful and it's a new fun mechanic that we can test out. But for me, to keep it simple, I would probably just use Energy Switch on my builds. First of all, if I'm pairing Machamp VMAX with Lucario, since Lucario can self-energize, all I have to do is switch one of its energy to Machamp VMAX, and that's that. And if you also include Galarian Zapdos with the Strong Legs Charge ability, when you put it from your hand to the bench, you can accelerate 2 basic fighting energy onto it. And all you have to do is use Energy Switch to switch one of those energies to Machamp VMAX, and again, that's that. So for me, I think Energy Switch will be the more effective way to quickly energize Machamp VMAX, but then again, it really depends on the strategy of your entire build. B can also be a good option to energize your bench fighting Pokemon as well. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and if any of them are energies, you can attach them to your bench fighting Pokemon in any way you like. This can be a very fast way to energize your bench fighting Pokemon, but the only thing is that it's not always a guarantee that you'll find any energies on the top 5 cards of your deck when you use B. But this could be an option. And speaking of energy, you can also use the stone energy to increase Machamp VMAX's defense since it is a fighting type Pokemon. For each of these attacks, you can increase the fighting type Pokemon's defense by 20, which means it will receive 20 less damage from attack. So with 4 of these attacks, you can increase Machamp VMAX's defense by 80, making it a lot harder to get knocked out by regular attacks. And if you really want to increase your defense even further, you can also add a full face guard tool card. Since Machamp VMAX has no ability, you can increase its defense even further by 20. So now let's also take a look at Machamp V. It has 220 HP, which is pretty average. It also has 3 retreat cost, no resistance, and is weak to Psychic. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Revenge Buster. For 1 fighting and 1 colorless energy, it does 50 plus damage, but if your bench Pokemon has any damage counters on them, this attack does 50 more damage. This is basically a baby version of Machamp VMAX's attack. It is a little weak and it only does 100 damage for 2 energies. Its second attack is Seismic Toss. For 2 fighting and 1 colorless energy, it does 140 damage. This second attack is a little underwhelming in my opinion. It can't even 2-hit KO VMAXs, which is typically 300 to 330 HP. So this Machamp V is basically just there to evolve into Machamp VMAX, although we have a lot of new cards that will increase this attack, so maybe it's usable, but it's probably best to just attack with Machamp VMAX. Overall, this Machamp VMAX is a pretty powerful VMAX in my opinion, but its weakness to Psychic still makes it a bit awkward to use in the competitive scene right now, especially with Mew VMAX still in the forefront of the top tier builds being used in the format. Other than that, I would give this Machamp VMAX a 4 out of 5 Popsicle Knights. But let me know your thoughts on Machamp VMAX. What do you think of this card? Is it something you're looking forward to in the Astral Radiance set? Do you agree or disagree with the combination I mentioned in this video? Do let me know in the comments below, and please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Joseph, and you've been watching the Popsicle Knight channel.